Hi, welcome everyone. So today's class we're going to be working on balance. I know we were practicing balance yesterday, creating balance in the body, especially between the left and the right side. Today we're going to actually work on balance, balancing on one foot and then the other. And so there are many different ways you can learn to balance, and a lot of the techniques of balancing are to do with unconscious processes, so we don't even realize or have any awareness of what's actually happening inside the body to help us balance. But we can focus on some things, especially through the feet, the connection of your feet with the ground, the strength in your feet and your ankles, and also the inner ear and the eyes. So the vestibular and the ocular reflexes. Today we'll focus mainly on the feet though. So let's just start by finding the connection with your feet and the ground. You want to feel yourself grounded. So whatever is touching the ground is your base, and you want to feel supported and connected. So in this case it's our feet. Just close your eyes here and just notice what you're feeling. If this is difficult with your eyes closed, keep your eyes open and just check in with your feet too. You can keep your feet wider apart. You can have them touching. Notice where your balance point is, so where you feel most stable. Okay, and then just notice what you're feeling in the body. Notice if there is any wobbling. You know, if you feel like you're swaying or if you're wobbling, you can just let the wobbling just teach you how to respond to losing balance in your daily life. Don't give up. Come into your breathing and then find balance. So take your hands together, set your intention for the practice, and it may be just to find balance. Find balance in your daily life. Okay, release your hands down. Let's come down onto your back. So we're going to start with some just arching and curling. And bring the feet into the movement. So you can have your hands on your hip points or on your belly. Just take a breath in, just gently arching up. And then exhale the breath. Just keeping your spine long, feel your spine lengthen. Navel draw down towards the ground. And then again, just breathing in. Feel that expansion through the rib cage, the abdomen. And then exhale the breath, feel that contraction through the front, spine lengthens. Okay, as you do it this time, breathing in, start to lift your heels. And then as you exhale, lower the heels, lift the toes, feel your spine lengthen. Also watching the back of your head. And again, just breathing in, heels lift, arching up. And then exhale, navel draws down, toes lift. Let's do one more full round. So breathing in and breathing out. Lower the heels, toes lift, spine long. Okay, and then just come back to a neutral position. Oops, my timer. Just pause for a moment. Okay, now we're going to focus for a moment on not doing the arching and the curl, but focusing on the contraction that you feel. So when we come into balancing and the standing, we want to feel the support and our center, our core stabilize us. And so to do that, we want to feel like we're zipping up, and you can feel like you're zipping up jeans, but we don't want to take the spine down to the ground. Also, we're rounding our back and drawing the pelvis back, nor tipping it forward. So kind of finding a neutral pelvis, but you want to feel the center turn on, so activate. So what you'll do is take just a deep breath in, expanding through the abdomen, through the ribs. And then as you exhale, you're going to do a progressive contraction from pubic bone to navel, but without the spine drawing down to the ground. So feel the muscles start to contract. And then as you inhale, feel them release from pubic bone, from navel all the way down to your pubic bone. And so just doing that contraction with the breath, exhale. You can feel your navel draw in towards your spine, but without the spine dropping to the ground. So keeping the pelvis in this neutral position and then releasing. Let's do it one more time. So the progressive contraction and then progressive release. And then just give your knees a hug. You can rock from side to side. Okay, let's come up to a comfortable seated position. We'll just do a 2 or 3 rounds, so about 3 rounds of alternate nostril breathing. This will help to connect the left and the right side of the brain with the left and the right side of the body. So thinking about the right side of the brain controlling the left side of the body and the left hemisphere of the brain controlling the right. And then you're just going to help to bring some balance. So what you'll do is you'll take your index finger and middle finger of your right hand onto your forehead. And you'll use your thumb to close off your right nostril and your ring finger to close off your left. So first of all, just take a deep breath in through your nose, so both nostrils. Notice if you can sense a difference between the two, and breathe out through both nostrils. Then close your right nostril, breathe in through your left. Close the left, breathe out through your right. Breathe in right. Out left. That's 1 full round. So breathe in left. Close left, breathe out right. In right. Out left. Okay, just do 1 more full cycle, just remembering to breathe in on the same side you breathe out. Notice if you can sense a difference between the two. Does one feel more dominant than the other, one nostril? And this will change multiple times throughout the day, depending on which side of the brain you're using. And you'll also notice that this will, when you're balancing too, one side will feel more stable than the other. And this also changes multiple times throughout the day. Okay, so once you've finished that round, you can just close your eyes. Just take a few moments just to observe anything you notice in the body, so any sensations, any thoughts, any feelings. Okay, and then just make your way to a tabletop position. Let's curl the toes under. And just be mindful of this pose, especially if you're used to wearing jandals a lot. This area can get quite tight, so just be, as you come into this pose, take it to where it feels comfortable and you just can slowly work into it. Okay, so we're just stretching out the toes. And then placing the soles of your feet down, just working your hands back and then just lifting your knees. So you're just stretching through the tops of your feet. And let's come forward again. So again, curling your toes under and taking your hips toward your heels. Stretching out through the soles of your feet and just release that. You can tap out through the feet and then again come to kneeling. If this isn't comfortable for your knees, just skip this part out. We'll also do it from a chair. So you just lean back onto your hands and then just slowly lift your knees. Just feel that stretch through the tops of your feet and to the tops of your ankles. Okay, and then release. And again, you can just tap out. Okay, again, curl your toes under, hips toward your heels. And then you're going to take your hands toward your knees, push into your hands and lift your knees up. And this may be enough for you just to hover the knees, just see how it feels for the knees again. You can skip this part out if it's not good for your knees. Otherwise, you're going to take your hips back, drawing your heels towards the ground. They don't have to touch. And then lower your knees down. And then we're going to just lift up, take a twist towards the right. So just reaching your arms up, just allow it to be fluid. Come back through center and then take your hands down, hips back, knees lift. And again, just lower your knees down, sweeping out to the left, reaching up, come back through center, and then planting your hands down again. Take your hips back. And we'll do it another full round. So reaching up around to the right, through center, and then lower your hands down. Knees lift again, just to a height that's comfortable for you. And then lower your knees, and then sweep up around to the left, just reaching. And then plant your hands down. This time we're going to lift up. So take your knees up and then hips up. Okay, let's take a forward fold here. Just be mindful of how you're feeling in the back line of the body. So from the heels all the way up towards your buttocks and all the way down through the spine. So you can keep your chest lifted, either your hands on the ground or your hands on the fronts of your thighs, lengthen your spine. Or you can take your ribs down to your front thighs. And then just allowing your spine to drape. Just notice what you're feeling all the way through the backs of your legs, keeping your knees bent as much as you need. Okay, and then take your hands onto your hips, lift your chest up halfway, draw your arm bones back, and then you push down into your feet, hinge at the hips, come all the way up to standing. Release your arms down. And then just take a big step to the front of your mat, or lots of steps. Okay, we'll come into sun salutation. So you're going to take your arms out to the side, reaching up, take a breath in. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hips, come all the way down to the ground. Take a breath in, lift your chest up, lengthen your spine. And then as you exhale, you're going to step back to downward facing dog. So just one foot back, and then the other. Keep your knees bent as you come into your downward facing dog. So for a moment, just focus on pushing down and forth through your hands, lengthen through your arms, ribs, sides of your waist, right up to the hip creases. Okay, now you're going to just lengthen one leg. So just drawing the heel towards the ground, just feeling into that back line. So from the heel all the way up through the back of the leg, take it only to a place that it still feels comfortable for you and you don't feel like you're pulling on the pelvis and rounding into the lower back. And then just bend your knee. And then extend through the opposite leg. So you're drawing the back of your knee towards the back of the room. The foot doesn't have to come down to the ground. And the heel. And then just bending your knee. Just take another full round of breath here. Exhale your breath completely. And then bend your knees, lifting your heels, and then step towards the front of your mat. Lifting your chest up halfway, lengthen your spine. And then exhale, fold forward. Take a breath in, leading with the sternum. Rise all the way up to standing. And exhale and release. Let's do that again. So breathing in, reach out. Exhale, hinge at the hips to fold all the way forward. And then take a nice deep breath in, lift your chest up, lengthen your spine. And then exhale as you plant your hands, step back to your downward facing dog. Again, keep your knees bent. Focus on lengthening all the way through the sides of the waist to the hips. And then again, we'll work through one leg. So again, lengthening through one leg as you reach the heel towards the ground. Again, it doesn't have to touch, and just be mindful of how this feels. Not overstretching through the back of the leg. And then bend that knee, and then extending through the opposite leg. And again, just bend the knee, lift the heels up towards the ceiling, and then take your gaze forward, step all the way towards the front of your mat. Take a nice deep breath in, lift your chest up, lengthen your spine, and then exhale to drape your spine. And start to lead with the sternum, so chest reaching forward, rise all the way up to standing. And then release your arms down. Just shake out through the shoulders. Okay, let's just find mountain pose again. Actually, I'll come to the front of the mat to face you. So we're going to work on, first of all, finding the four corners of your feet down into the ground. And this will help you find the connection with your foot and the ground to help you stabilize. Then we want to feel like the energy is moving up the leg. So you start to turn on your leg muscles, and then again you'll zip up when you come into the balancing. Okay, first of all, let's start with our foundation, so the foot. So you're going to push into the big toe mound of your right foot. And then feel like you're, as you push down through the big toe mound, pulling back through the heel and land the inside edge of your heel. So just on the side of your foot. Now lower the little toe mound side into the ground, and then the outside edge of your heel. So those are the four corners of your foot connecting. Spread your toes wide as though they're popping out towards the front of your mat. And then landing your toes down. See if you can do one toe at a time. So you're working into all those muscles. And then let's do the other side. Okay, so left foot big toe mound. Again, pull back through the heel, land the inside edge of your heel, little toe mound, and then the outside edge of your heel. Again, spread your toes, so feel like you're lengthening all the bones in your foot forward, and then land the toes. Okay, just feel that connection with your foot, feet, and the ground. Okay, now we're going to shift the weight into our right foot. We're going to work our creating strength in the foot, and you're working on all the different points of your foot. And to do that, we're going to be lifting the left leg up. And if you picture a compass, there's 8 points on a compass. So you've got north and south, east and west, and then you've got it all the way around, or the southeast, southwest, etc. So you're going to move your leg in those different points. And as you do that, you want to notice what you're experiencing in the right foot. And also notice areas that you feel more wobbly. So if the leg goes forward and you feel the most wobbliest, or if it goes across the body, just observe that for you. And the weird difference between the left and the right side, you'll find one side's probably weaker than the other, and that's the side that you'll work on more. And this is a good pose to do if you do have issues with balancing that you could do daily. Okay, so let's shift the weight into the right leg. Now as you push down into those four corners, feel yourself lengthen through the leg. So you stabilize and then lift your left leg up. And we can just bend and extend the leg. So notice how this feels for you. You can do this as we start to move into the pose too. And so you'll take your leg forward. So left leg comes forward, just bending into that right leg and then taking it out to the corner. And then you can take it out to the side. Just bring it back to center and then to the back corner. And again, taking it behind you. And you can take it out and across the body, and then out right in front, out to the opposite side, and behind you. You're just bending into the leg. Just notice if there's any areas that you feel off balance. That's okay, it's just an observation. And then land the foot. Okay, just observe what you're feeling in the leg, and then let's switch sides. Okay, so find that connection with your foot on the ground. And again, as you lift your right leg, you maybe just bend and flex into that left leg, and then you start to take your right leg long. And again, just working around those 8 points. Notice if this side feels different from the other side, and notice which areas, so where you may feel most wobbly. So you're just going into those different points. And there's one for me, I feel really wobbly there. Okay, and then just come back to center, and then step your foot down, just walk it out. Okay, and then come over to your chair. And you can use blocks as well if you need would prefer blocks for your support. So you have both feet on the ground, just feeling that connection with the feet in the ground. Then step your right foot forward, left foot slightly back. And you want to gently pull the right side of the hip back as the left one gently comes forward so your pelvis is square. Okay, now start to lift your right foot, toes up towards the ceilings, keeping the heel down. And then as you land the foot, articulate the foot. So again, feel like you're creating space in between each of the bones as you spread your foot down. And then lift the opposite heel. So left heel lifts. And then again, lower the foot down. Take your time lowering. And then lifting the right foot up. And then articulate the foot, lift the left heel into the balls of your foot. And then again, right foot, and lower the right foot, lift the left heel. Okay, lower the heel. Now what we're going to do is lift your right toes up towards your face, extending through the leg, and then bend into your left leg. And so you're working into the calf muscles. And then just release and switch your feet over. Okay, again, just gently pull back through the left side of the hip, right one comes forward, so you're squaring out the pelvis, so you can just notice if one side is popping out to the side, and then lift your left toes up towards the ceiling, lower the foot down, so articulate the foot as it lowers, and then lift your right heel up. Then lower the heel down, and then lifting up through the left leg, spread the foot long, and then lift the right heel. Do one more full round. And again, lift that right heel, lower the heel down, and then you're going to just lift your left toes up towards your face. Feel that stretch through the back of your leg, and then bend into your right knee. Now we're getting into the soleus muscle. Just breathing here. Okay, and then come back up. And then we're going to just stand again, just a mountain pose. So feet about hip width distance apart, or if you felt like you had balance, you can bring your feet closer together. Okay, so we're going to again lift the heels up and then the toes up. So you're going to take your arms out, reaching up. You can take interlace your fingers, index fingers pointing up, or just hands together. And then start to lift your heels up towards the ceiling. So both heels lift this time. Okay, slowly release your arms, lower your heels down, and you can take your hands behind you, maybe lifting sternum up, lift your toes up. And then lower your toes down, and again, lifting the heels. Notice if there's wobbling. And then releasing the heels down, take your arms, you may even like to interlace your hands behind you, lifting the sternum up, lift your toes up, so you're shifting the weight into the heels. And then again, reaching up, shifting the weight into the balls of your feet. And then lower your heels down, release your arms, and then shifting the weight into your heels, lifting your toes. Okay, and then just bend your knees. Okay. Just shake out through the legs. You may like to just circle your ankles. Okay, now we're going to come into tree pose. Okay. Okay, so again, just step your feet about hip width distance apart. Shift the weight into your right foot. And then turn your left leg out to the left. So you've got the external rotation happening. And then you can take your foot against the inside of your right leg, just like we did when we were lying down on the ground. You can keep your toes on the ground. Maybe slide your foot up a little bit higher. You can go all the way up to your thigh. Just make sure you don't place the foot on the knee, because the knee is a hinge joint that goes back and forwards, and you don't want to pop it out to the side. Now wherever your foot is, you're going to hug your foot into your leg, and then squeeze your right leg back in towards your foot and zip up. So again, there's that zipping up like you're wearing jeans. That will help you stable. Now find a single point that you can focus your gaze on. This will help to settle the mind. Just finding balance. Now you can start to expand your tree if you like. You may notice your foot slipping. Keep squeezing the foot into the thigh or into the leg. Don't worry if you're wobbling. Well, wobbling also helps to create strength in your ankle joint. Okay, just take another couple of rounds of breath here. Exhale the breath, just release your arms and then lower your foot. And you may like to just walk it out, and then we'll switch sides. So shifting the weight into your left foot, turn your right leg, so you're externally rotating, and then you'll bring your foot against the inside of your left leg. Again, you can keep your toes on the ground. You can even use a block to support your foot. You can maybe take your leg onto your calf. Again, try not to place the foot onto the knee. Or you can bring it all the way up into your inner thigh. Wherever your foot is, you're going to hug your foot and leg in towards each other. And then feel yourself zipping up. So from pubic bone up toward your navel. So you've got your core, your center turned on. Again, you can take your hands together at your heart center, or you may like to expand out through your tree, just taking it to a place that feels that you would like to for your practice today. Again, just focus your gaze on a single point. This will help your mind to settle. So once the eyes settle, in turn can help the mind to settle. Notice if you're clenching your jaw. Just breathing here. Again, stable through your center. Finding that connection with all the four corners of your foot on the ground. Again, notice if you're wobbling. Take one more full breath in. And then breathe out. Release your leg and release your arms. Just walk it out. Okay, going to stay with the balancing. Okay, so we shift all the weight again into the right foot. Give your left leg, just come back towards the back of your mat too, so you've got some room to come forward. So give your left leg a hug in towards your chest. Again, push down through your right foot, active through the legs, zip up. Okay, and then release your arms up towards the ceiling, maybe interlacing your fingers, and then extend out through your left leg. Just breathing here. Take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, you're going to land your left foot on the ground and then come forward into warrior three. Okay, so you can just lift those back toes off the ground. They don't have to come up too high. Okay, and then you can reach out through your left arm, maybe taking your right arm behind you. And then land your right foot down, switching your arms over. So come into your warrior one pose, reaching up through your right fingers, and then glide your body forward. Again, your back foot can lift off the ground. It doesn't have to. You can just lift the heel up, maybe the foot lifts. And then bend your knee, lower your foot down, and then switching. And we'll do that one more time. So glide your body forward, extend out through your left arm, maybe lift the right leg off the ground. And then bend your front knee, lower your back foot down, warrior one. And then reaching both arms up. Take a nice deep breath in. And push off your back foot. You're going to step back and come back to standing at the back of your mat. Okay, switching sides. Just walk it out if you need to. Just fix up my mat. Okay, so let's shift the weight into the left foot. So again, remember those four corners of your foot. And then bending your right leg. Hug it in towards your chest. Get stable and strong through your left leg, zip up. And then again, and reach your arms up. You can interlace your fingers as you extend out through your right leg. Take a nice deep breath in. And then plant your foot down as you exhale. And then glide your body forward. Again, your left toes don't have to lift, but you can reach them out. And then you're going to just release your, which arm is it? Your right arm. Nope, I think it's the left. Okay, I think we've got it. Okay, lower your back foot down, switch your arms. There we go. Okay, so it's your left arm. Arm reaches as your left foot comes down to the ground. Okay, and then glide your body forward. So reaching through the right arm again, maybe lifting up your left foot. And then lower the leg, reaching up, warrior one. And then gliding forward, again, reaching long, pushing off the ball of your foot, and then maybe the foot lifts. Again, notice that wobbling in the right leg. And then come back into your warrior one. Just breathing here, reaching both arms up. This time you're going to step forward, so just push off your back foot and step your foot forward. Release your arms down. And just take a few moments just to allow the poses to land on the body. Notice the sensations you're feeling. Maybe close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Okay, when you're ready, just take your feet wide. Hands onto your front thighs. Lengthen your spine. So coming into a squat. This may be enough for you just to hold here. Otherwise, you may like to take your forearms down to your thighs. Again, still keeping your spine long, sit bones drawing back, sternum forward. Or you can take your hands together and maybe take your triceps on the inside of your thighs. Now again, whichever pose you choose, you want to keep your spine long. So lifting up through the crown of your head, tailbone drawing down or back. Just breathing here. Just feel it stretch through the backs of your ankles. And place your hands down. Going to come down onto your back. And just give your knees a hug. And circle your legs around in just one direction, then the other. Okay, and then plant your feet onto the ground, bringing your heels in towards your buttocks. Now feel the base of your skull on your mat, spine is long. Okay, from here you're going to come into bridge pose. So you're going to push down into the feet. So first of all, find that connection with your feet and the ground. So heels down, reaching out through the toes. Feel the big toe mound, little toe mound onto the ground. Okay, now as you push down into your feet, start to lift the hips up. So hug your outer shins in towards each other. Keep the pelvis lifting up towards the ceiling. And then as you keep pushing down into your heels, you're going to lengthen through the fronts of your thighs, chest join towards your chin. So keep that connection between your feet and the ground. And then we'll slowly release. Just articulate your spine back down to the ground. Allow the pelvis to land. And then just pause for a couple of breaths. And we'll do that again. So again, push down through your feet. So start with the heels and spread out all the way through your toes. So balls of your feet come down, then toes land. Okay, now as you push down into your feet, lift the hips up. And as the hips start to float up, you hug your outer shins in. And keep reaching the pelvis up. Then push down into your feet even more and lengthen through the fronts of your hips, thighs. Just breathing here. You may like to interlace your hands if that feels good for you. So you'll be tucking one shoulder under than the other, maybe lifting up a little bit higher. Still keeping that connection with your feet and the ground. And then we'll slowly release. So if you've got your hands interlaced, just release your hands and then articulate your spine back down. Again, just take a couple of breaths here, maybe stepping your feet wide, knees in towards each other. Okay, let's just finish with a spinal twist. So you're going to just hug your right leg in towards your chest. You can take your left leg long or keep it bent. You're going to use your left hand to guide your right knee over towards the left side and take your right arm out to the side. So just a gentle shuffling of your hips over to the right, and then your knee will come to the left. You can stay here or maybe sweep your right arm up towards the back of the room, maybe turn your head to the right. And release your arm down, head to center, and then bring your knees back up. Just reset, so pelvis back onto the ground, and then we'll switch the legs over. So you're going to take your, hug your left leg in towards your chest. And your right leg can go long if that's comfortable for you. And then take your left arm out to the side, right hand stays onto your knee and guide your left knee over. Feeling the twist. Notice where you feel it. Feel it all the way through the outer hip, up through the waist. And then maybe sweeping your left arm up towards the left corner of the room. Maybe your head will turn. And then gently make your way back to center. So just release your arm. Again, just reset the pelvis and moving your hips gently from side to side. And you can come into a constructive rest pose, knees bent, or extending your legs long. Allow your feet to just fall out to whichever way they naturally go. Just take a few moments just to feel all the poses as they land in the body. Notice the sensations in the body. And stay in your Shavasana as long as you need. Whenever you're ready, you can make your way up to a seated position. So just take a few moments just to allow your body, your sit bones to find that connection with the ground again, feeling your foundation. And then from there, just rising up tall within yourself. So lifting all the way up through the crown of your head, taking your hands together at your heart center. And draw your head down towards your heart and take a moment to acknowledge the time you spent honoring yourself this morning or this evening. Thank you so much for joining me. From me to you, namaste.